Hello there everybody, Billibo10000 here, bringing you a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate discussion video, because today we have gotten news from tons of different outlets who got the chance to actually have a hands-on play with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, a build that is almost at the release build. They got to play Classic Mode, they got to play World of Light, they got to have some smashes, some of them got to try out the Spirit boards, and I'm here to just kind of talk about what I saw, what they have brought up, and how I'm personally excited for the game. Now, I'm not going to be using any footage from those people in this video because it belongs to their channels. I don't want to take that away from them, so I'm just going to be sticking to my random Smash battles that I've been getting off of YouTube. But you can check out some awesome videos by GameXplain, Nintendo Life, Nairo MK. There are tons of people who have been posting about this new Smash stuff, so if you're interested in that, and you don't know what I'm going on about, then head down, take a look, and see what's going on. So, I want to get first things first into Classic Mode, because a big thing about Classic Mode is that it is completely different to how it used to be. Now, you have 6 fights, main fights, that are based on a specific, sort of category. So we knew, like, Ryu would go against 6 people on Omega, on Omega stages, Final Destination stages, against people that would represent, Street Fighter characters. We found out this time, through 5 different characters, Wolf, he faces off against characters who were cut from the previous games. Rob, he faces off against characters who have emotionless faces, so like robots, the Wii Fit trainers, etc. Duck Hunt Dog, he goes against animals. I think Mario obviously goes up against traditional characters to fight Bowser. I don't really know too much on that one. I know that Captain Falcon was also shown off, but I don't know what his gimmick is. So I've got no idea there. But what I found really interesting about Classic Mode is we now know exactly how it is structured. You have got the 6 battles, then there is a bonus stage where you have to run from a black vortex and make it to a cannon at the other side while collecting what I can only assume are coins of some kind. And then that will be added to your score at the end. Now, the problem with this is that it is the same stage for every character, meaning that once you've seen it once, you've seen it 1,000 times. I think it would have been interesting to have maybe 2 or 3 different types of stages that you could have for different characters. I think that would have been a little bit more interesting. It would have been more fun, I think. I think people would have enjoyed that a little bit more. After the special stage, you then have a boss fight against a boss of the game's choosing that is relevant to the character. It's not Master Hand anymore. I don't even know if we're going to get a Master Hand fight in the game. We might get one in the World of Light, but I don't think we're going to be getting Master Hand in Classic Mode anymore. That, I don't think is going to happen. Maybe if you get to like a high enough difficulty, he might replace the boss that's already being shown. I'm not sure. But each of the different characters have their own bosses that they have to face. Wolf faces Gallium from Super Smash Bros. Brawl, who makes his return in beautiful fashion, and I think that is a brilliant choice because Wolf came in Brawl, Gallium came back from Brawl, Wolf's entire Classic Mode is about bringing back characters from the past, Gallium is a character from the past, etc. Mario, I believe, faces off against Giga Bowser, and it starts off as a normal Bowser fight, but then once Bowser is beaten, he turns into Giga Bowser and then becomes a fully fleshed out boss, which I think is extremely interesting and extremely cool because it's bringing back a boss we haven't seen since Melee, so I really like that. The game is really going back to its roots, bringing back all sorts of different ideas, and I love that. Duck Hunt Dog's boss is the Rathalos, which I think makes sense because he's fighting only animals, so the Rathalos would make sense to fight. I don't know about Captain Falcon. I think Rob is Gallium as well. I don't know about Captain Falcon. I think he is Giga Bowser as well, but I'm not 100% sure. Now, I think they had a really weird selection of Classic Mode characters, and people have been speculating that this is because they didn't want to showcase some other bosses that are potentially coming up, and I agree with that. I believe, based on a live stream that Sakurai did, we actually do know that I think there is a Bayonetta boss that is going to be in the game, so obviously Bayonetta's classic mode wasn't shown because it might spoil a new boss. Same with other characters. Could we see a Dr. Wily boss? Could we see an Eggman boss? What kind of bosses will we see from franchises like Pokemon and Street Fighter, stuff like that? This is all information that I would love to know, and it is certainly something to speculate, because now we know that all of these characters are going to have their own different bosses. Obviously, the Belmonts are going to go up against Dracula, that makes sense. Potentially Cloud could go up against Dracula, I'm not sure. But it is interesting. I like what they've done with Classic Mode. It is 10 times more interesting than the Wii U. I could see myself 100% doing Classic Mode videos here on the channel, going through each of the Classic Modes, making it its own video, having fun with it, just enjoying myself. I could see myself 100%ing this Classic Mode feature, if only because every round of Classic Mode is so unique in terms of what they're showing us so far. So I'm extremely, extremely excited to get into Classic Mode, give it a go, try and beat it on the highest difficulty, because that beautiful tapestry, the artwork for the difficulty select for the Classic Mode is absolutely beautiful. I think you can only go up to, I think, like 5.6 or something, or 6.0, I'm not sure what the limit is, and then you have to start winning battles to get higher and higher and unlock more of the tapestry. I don't know if eventually you'll get to a point where you can just start from the hardest difficulty or not, I'm not really sure, but I'm sure we're going to find out when the game releases. So Classic Mode is interesting, but what about Spirits? The Spirits board, we got some information on that, how obviously the Spirits will switch out every 5 minutes or so you're always getting new Spirits, and because Spirit battles are actually really quick, they don't take a lot of time, you will probably find yourself kind of just going through different Spirits every 5 minutes, and it makes sense as to why Spirits are on this sort of timer now. It makes sense because you're going to be going through these fights really quickly if you've got a good Spirit loadout, if you've got a good team loadout for specific Spirit types. And it is insane because if a Spirit pops up on the Spirit board, then that means that it has a battle attached to it, and I think all primary Spirits are gonna have a battle attached to it. I don't know about support Spirits, I don't know how that's gonna work, I don't think that was really touched upon in any of this news feed, but if every Spirit has like an event battle that is coordinated and attached to it, I'm gonna be extremely excited for this game, because that means there is so much potential for so many different like event matches, which was some of my favorite parts about Smash Wii U, Smash 3DS, Smash Brawl, Smash Melee. I love event matches, and the fact that the entire game is just based around these massive event matches makes me really excited. Now, is this going to be exciting to everyone? No, there are some people who don't really like the idea of Spirits mode because a lot of the bulk of the main game is just delegated to these little event matches, and you train up your Spirits, and you leave them for time, and it feels a bit like a mobile game to some people. And I get that, but at the same time, Smash Brothers kind of works in this sort of mobile way, because this is a Switch game. You're going to be bringing it around. You're not going to be playing it 24/7. People that want to bring it to work, they can set their Spirits to find some items or train up for 2 hours while they're at work. They pull it out at lunchtime, boom, that's done. It works. It makes sense. I understand why they've chosen to do that. And I think that the Spirits board is going to be extremely fun. I think it's probably going to be great. I know from, I think one of the Game Explain discussions did say that, you know, the Spirits board, you actually have to shoot the Spirit after you have beaten the Spirit in battle, and you can weaken the shield around it. They did mention that some of them are so fast that chances are they are designed for you to have to refight the Spirit unless you want to use like specific items to slow down the circle or remove some of the circle entirely. So Spirit capturing could be a bit tedious, and if there is a really tough Spirit fight and then there's like just a really annoying circle going around the Spirit to capture it, that's going to be really annoying. I don't think they mentioned whether Spirits from your Spirit board can be moved to your World of Light save or vice versa. I would imagine that the spirits you obtain in World of Light will be transferable to the spirit board and vice versa. I think that would be a good idea, but I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if they want you to maybe train all of your spirits in World of Light, keep them in that mode, and then maybe when you beat the mode, you can bring them over to the spirits board. I'm not really sure how they're going to work with that. But the spirits board itself seems pretty exciting, and I think people are going to really enjoy it. Just from what I have seen, and from what people have been discussing, and from what I am seeing from all this news, I think it's going to be something people really, really like. Now, everyone wants me to talk about this, World of Light. So, the big thing is that there are some cutscenes, but most of the cutscenes I think were already incorporated into the World of Light trailer. Specifically, we're going to obviously have that opening sequence. We're going to have the sequence where Kirby wakes up and looks around and the world is destroyed, and there's the bit where Mario is getting cloned and all that. They actually have cutscenes with little subtitles at the bottom that you can look at, and those subtitles will kind of explain the story, and I will say this, the cutscene where Mario is being cloned and it shows all of the clones with the red eyes with no music, and just the sound effects, it is possibly the most daunting thing I have ever heard in my life. It terrified me. That just kind of gave me chills, like unnerved chills. Now, am I necessarily a fan of how some of those cutscenes worked? Not really. In the video that I watched of the main cutscene, it switches from that scene with all of the red-eyed clones to Kirby waking up with like this really cringy slide effect, and I don't know if that was from the YouTuber or if that was actually an in-game transition between the two sequences. I'm hoping it was the former and not the latter, because it kind of felt a little bit weak. And I'm not sure how all of these subtitles are going to work when it comes to the World of Light trailer, as in where everyone's getting blasted. Is it going to explain what's going on, why all of these fighters are together fighting Galeem, who is Galeem? I think we're going to get a bit more information, but I don't know whether subtitles with maybe no voice is the way to go. They could have had like an old man voice, kind of like dictating the tale, like or something like that. Instead, it's just silence, which I'm not sure if that's going to convey the same thing. I'm also hoping, obviously, that we get more cutscenes, but, and this is a big but, looking at the World of Light and what I have seen from the gameplay, I don't think we're going to be getting many cutscenes, if any at all, quite frankly, aside from maybe boss intros and whatever happens when you beat Galeem in the end. Because once you start off as Kirby, you are just thrust into the world, you get a few explanation scenes, and then you are just off fighting spirits. The first spirit you fight is Smokey Prog, which is a Mario who can turn into Metal Mario. You defeat Smokey Prog, you get Smokey Prog as a spirit. Then you face Eevee, which is 3 different Yoshis, a Yoshi, a yellow Yoshi, a red Yoshi, and a blue Yoshi, along with an Eevee Pokeball summon. Obviously, the 3 Yoshis represent the first 3 evolutions of Eevee, Flareon, Jolteon, and Vaporeon from from Pokemon Red and Blue. So, brilliant, makes sense, and judging by just what we have seen so far from all of these little fights, every single character that is chosen to be a spirit and to have an event fight matches with the character that is being used in the fights. It makes sense. You're not really stretching too far. As long as you do some research into the character that is the spirit, you can see why they picked this character, and it all just makes sense, and it's really cool. And I love that none of them have felt gimmicky so far from what we've seen. Obviously, the Octolings are Splatoon Inklings, but with darker colors, and it's a stamina match, which I thought was really interesting. And then we get the actual fighter matches. Now, it was kind of implied in the World of Light trailer, from that shot of Marth on Final Destination, that we were going to have to go to Final Destination to fight the characters to unlock them. Now, on the one hand, that's cool because you're fighting characters in like a full-on duel. On the other hand, some characters are going to be a little easier than others given its Final Destination. I'm imagining Fox is going to be a bloody nightmare. And I feel like maybe a bit of variation could have been done there, in my opinion. Just something to kind of make it a little more interesting, because if we're doing 70 71 plus matches on Final Destination to unlock the characters. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Also, once you get past Eevee, you fight Mario. You beat Mario, and then it's Mario joins the battle, he's in, and you can switch to him, and no cutscenes, no information, nothing like that. So you're not going to get any, like, dialogue from the characters, you're not going to get anything like Kirby saying Puyo and Mario saying good to see you, Kirby, or anything like that for anyone who was expecting that. You got to make your own story yourself in your own mind. But obviously you do get the characters, and something I love, that I really love, is that when you get the characters, you have your own character select screen for World of Light. So you go into your team, and if it's just Kirby, you only see Kirby. So all of you who want Kirby is the only character to survive as, like, a meme, there's your meme right there. You just see Kirby, and when you get Mario, it is the character select screen, but it is just 3 big boxes, random Kirby and Mario, and it looks absolutely, like, hilarious in that kind of, like, grim way, in that, oh god, there's no other fighters here. And it's going to be really interesting, depending on which routes you take, which characters are going to be on that select screen from the beginning, because you get to that kind of stadium part after you beat Mario, and you get the choice of 3 different characters. If you go left, you get to fight Marth. If you go up, you get to fight Sheik, and if you go right, you get to fight Villager. Interesting set of characters. All 3 of them have very different playstyles, so I get why they are all placed there. It's not going in numerical order. I don't know where most of these characters are going to end up. Only the ones that we've seen in the trailers we really know are going to end up. We know Falco's somewhere in space. We know that Isabelle is at a village somewhere, makes sense. So depending on which fighter you choose to attack, the other 2 fighters become blocked off, and I assume you have to find your way around to them by going around the world. Some people on GameXplain were speculating, oh, maybe you can't unlock all the fighters in one go. I disagree. You're probably going to be able to get around to the entire world map at some point. They're not going to block you off completely from unlocking a fighter. I think what it is that it is just forcing you to go down one specific route, and eventually you're going to unlock a way onto the other routes, because you're going to have to explore the entire map if you want to somehow beat Galeem. If we're going by GameXplain's speculation that there are crystals on different parts of the map you need to beat bosses to unlock, then it makes sense that you're gonna eventually wrap around and find these other places and unlock these routes. I find it interesting, though, that it locks you off, because then it forces you to go to different locations, and I can imagine that's going to be really fun for streaming the game, where everyone's going to be like, do you want to pick Marth, Sheik, or Villager? Now, Villager, if you pick him, you end up going to some sort of F-Zero / Mario Kart racetrack, and I believe Captain Falcon is the next fighter you can unlock on that path. If you pick Sheik, though, your next fighter is Mii Sword Fighter. So you can have a starting roster of Kirby, Mario, Sheik, and then Mii Sword Fighter just sitting there, just the odd one out, completely out of the ordinary, just kind of sitting there. And I'm just imagining all of these different character select mode sort of setups that you can get just depending on the routes you go. And I'm just excited to see where these other routes and characters will take you. I don't think I know anyone who has done the Marth route yet. Maybe there is someone who has done Marth and knows what character is coming after him. I'm not sure. But I find it interesting how, just looking at World of Light, going through each of these event battles, going through the battles with the fighters, it's not a slow process. It's actually quite quick. You will go through battles at a very quick pace, changing your spirit loadout, fighting enemies, and I think that is interesting. I think it is very interesting how everything is very snappy, very fast. You don't really get held down much. Once you've unlocked a character, it's there. You can continue going. Once you've unlocked a spirit, you can keep going. You don't really have any cutscenes or anything that's stopping you quite initially, which I think is interesting. And it's certainly going to make it more fun for me when I'm streaming it, obviously, because I can get more done. But at the same time, it's like, I kind of wish we got maybe like a few little interactions. If we could get like some Fire Emblem like support conversations in Smash, that'd be goddamn amazing. It's never going to happen, but god, that would be so cool. But yeah, I'm really excited for World of Light. I like what it is offering. I love how absolutely massive the world map looks. Like, I saw the footage that GameXplain was showing, that Nintendo Life was showing. Nintendo Life specifically, I believe, they actually tried to look around the map to see other locations, and it is massive. It is insane. It is beyond what you think it is. It is bigger than it seems. There are a lot of fights to go on as you go through the map. I imagine there are going to be way over 100, possibly over 200 fights, maybe even 300 if we're looking at it just for World of Light alone. And I'm ready. Like, I'm gonna be one of those guys who wants to unlock every single character before fighting Galeem, so this is just like, for me, oh, this is gonna be a great mode. I am so ready for it, I'm so excited for it, I'm gonna do a massive goddamn stream for it. It's gonna be insane, and I am hyped. I am ready for World of Light. I am so ready to try this game out and see how it works. Now, on top of World of Light, they also got to do some multiplayer matches, and we've been getting information about all the different characters. I'm gonna link you specifically to Nairo MK's Smash Ultimate 40 Plus Facts video, which you can find down below. He talks about a lot of characters: Robin, Ken, King K. Rool, Simon, Richter, characters you want to know more about. They have a lot of changes. He's got an in-depth Zero Suit Samus impressions video as well, and I think it is important to kind of just see how some of these characters have changed, how they have balanced both competitively and casually. And a lot of people have been saying Richter is really cool because he's like a fast version of Simon Belmont, and Simon's moveset is really good, but with Richter it's even faster and it's funner. People have been giving King K. Rool a lot of fun because he can literally reflect projectiles with his stomach, but his counter is interesting in that it only works if a fighter hits his stomach. If it hits his back or if it hits his head, he's done. His helicopter does a lot of damage when he's doing his recovery, stuff like that. It's just information like that that I absolutely love. And I am so ready to try these characters out, give them a good go, play this game, and just enjoy it, because there is so much love that has been put into this game that I'm just so ready for it. Now, one change I want to bring up before we go that I know some of you are going to be very sad about, and I understand that it is quite tragic. Snake's codec has been removed. It is not in the game, at least as far as we're aware. I think people tried it, it didn't show up, which is an absolute travesty. However, Palutena's Guidance does return. Now, I think it does make sense that Palutena's Guidance should be the one to return because it has more characters already covered. Unlike Snake's Codec, which only has the characters from Brawl, Palutena's Guidance has a lot more done, and if you look at the roster from Brawl and then the roster from Ultimate, Snake's Codec would have had to do over half the cast to get more codecs up to speed, whereas Palutena's Guidance only has to do the newcomers and the DLC characters from the last game. And one thing I found really interesting about the Palutena's Guidance that we actually did get to hear, GameXplain has a few, one from King K. Rool, one from Daisy. The voice acting is different. They have given Viridi a new voice actress. I don't like her, she sounds like an absolute brat, and Viridi from the games, yes, she was a little bit childish, but she did still hold an air of arrogance, and she wasn't just a child. Like, she had a bit more going to her, and this voice actress doesn't really do it for me. And Palutena sounds a little bit off, actually. Like, I understand, obviously, it's been a few years since Palutena's voice actress did her voice, and her voice could have changed, but it does sound off, and I'm not 100% sure how I feel about how she sounds. It just sounds a little bit weird. And I'm not really sure about that. So just some quick fire stuff about Smash just in general. A lot of favorable talk has been going on about the final Smash meter. Like, for casual players who don't really care too much about balancing, they are loving it. Like, Andre from GameXplain specifically, he absolutely adores it, and I think I can see why. The final Smash meter means that you're not always just searching for a Smash Ball, you are building your final Smash meter with your own actions in the game, getting hit, making damage, surviving. You are creating your own final Smash meter. Now, while the actual final Smashes themselves are nowhere near balanced, I mean, look at Lucina or Marth or Chrom, and then tell me that that's balanced compared to, say, maybe Yoshi or Mega Man, which put you into a cutscene and then just launch the character in a direction. I feel like The balancing could have been a little bit better, and I feel like they might balance it a little bit after launch just to kind of appease certain people. But I think the final Smash meter is going to become a mainstay for a lot of people. I think people are going to really enjoy the final Smash meter, and I think it is going to make casual games extremely fun, because while the Smash Ball is great fun, and I love chasing down a good Smash Ball, trying to get the Smash Ball, and then no one actually getting it and it just leaving the stage. I mean, the Smash Ball is a classic. Everyone loves, well, not everyone loves it, but I love it. I can understand that the final Smash meter is going to cater to people who maybe play characters that are a little bit worse at getting the Smash Ball, and maybe they'll benefit from the Smash meter, because the Smash Ball has always favored a certain type of character. I think the weighted Smash Ball maybe changes that a little bit, but at the same time, I think the final Smash meter is going to be a lot of fun for a lot of people. Although it is going to put the fake Smash Ball out of jobs if people decide to turn off Smash Balls indefinitely. Well, oh well. Fake Smash Ball, we developed you, but then we made meters instead. Another thing to note is the stage morphing. People love the stage morphing, and not only is there stage morphing, but you can set a variety of options for the stage morphing times and for when it morphs. You can set it to morph in like a minute or 2 minutes. You can make it random, so maybe it'll morph 15 seconds after a stage has begun, and it'll wait a minute, and then it'll morph again, and then it'll morph for 30 seconds, and obviously you can set 2 different stages up, and it just means that you can make a more accessible game in terms of the stages, where people can actually play a lot more of these stages because they have the stage morph on. And I think it would be really interesting to just put some random stages that you just wouldn't see connected, put them together. Hanenbo, 75 meters, let's go. That's mine. That is my stage switch right there. Those are my 2 stages that I'm going to just keep switching through. 75 meters that I absolutely despise, and Hanenbo, which I absolutely love. I'm going to force all my friends to play Hanenbo. It's going to be great. But stage morphing has gotten a lot of good press. People like it, and the fact that it is doing so well and that people are enjoying it and that it is being welcomed into the community is really good for Smash and really good for the feature, because it means that people are going to like it and people are going to come up with really creative ways to use it, I'm sure. There's going to be some fun game modes and game rules and stuff, I'm sure. So, what wasn't actually specified in this news? We didn't really find out much about SmackDown, or Smashdown even. We didn't find out much about tournament mode, and the most concerning thing is we didn't really find out anything about the online. And I'm just concerned that the online is going to go kind of similarly to Smash 4 in that it's seemingly set up in the same way, and I think it will work a little bit better. But if you don't have a good connection, and if the matchup doesn't really work out, you're going to be a little bit screwed. I think the only reason why I'm a little more hopeful for this online is that the Switch's player base is a fuck-ton larger than the Wii U's player base, which means you're more likely to find people near you with better connections, unlike the Wii U, where if I turned it on here in Spain, I wouldn't get a connection with anyone until, like, I reach America, because nobody in the rest of the world actually liked to play with a Wii U. So, I think with the Switch, it's going to negate that problem somewhat. However, I imagine trying to play online while on the go or on someone's Wi-Fi at McDonald's probably isn't the best idea. Don't do that to other people, don't put them through that. At least play online from the safety of your own home or on a lovely plane that's got nice Wi-Fi features or something on the sort. But I am a little bit concerned about how online's going to work, but I do like how obviously the spectating works and how you can kind of set up groups. So if I want to do group tournaments with my friends, I can actually do that, and that is something I'm going to be doing for a series. That's going to be fun. So yeah, that's my thoughts on all the latest news for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. A few quick Fire Spirit things I just remembered. Obviously, Bandana D's been seen as a spirit, and I believe Rayman has been seen as a spirit, which means that at this point, I don't think spirits are gonna dictate, like, you can't be DLC. There are so many characters that have been seen as spirits at this point that it's just like, I'm expecting a spirit or two to become DLC. The question is, are we gonna get fighter spirits? Like, fighters in the game, are they gonna have spirits? Is that gonna be a thing? Don't know. But I do think we're potentially going to see some spirits that are DLC. Unless all the spirits are third party, in which case, oh god, Jesus no. So anyway, thank you everyone for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and remember to click that bell so you can be notified of all my latest uploads. If you want to see more of this news in greater detail, I'm going to have a link to loads of different videos down below that you can take a look at on all different topics from all different YouTubers that showcase this gameplay. And hopefully you will enjoy. I want to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons for their support this month. We have actually reached a special patron goal of over $100 per month, which was like my first patron goal, which is really awesome. So I want to thank them so much. They're obviously going to get shout outs at the end of the video, but you guys are awesome. You keep me going. I'm so grateful. If you haven't already, please consider joining my Discord. I have updates every time I upload and stream there, and it is a lovely community. On top of that, we also have another Discord called Top of the World, which is run by my friends. It's an awesome little general gaming server, and if you're interested in that, there will be a link down below to that Discord as well. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.